Transport by Nicholas Brown. February 24th, 2009 marked 18 days left on my year and a day for plants once legal in America. Under normal, less poverty-stricken circumstances, I would have worked a so-called honest line. But I knew nothing came with that except bills, stress, and Lord forbid a baby threat from a girl you liked but didn't love. When it rains, it pours, like the rain that fell that day in 2007. I met up with Drew and Pico across where Scott Projects were at Gwen Cherry Park. We kept dry by standing under what looked like a picnic shelter on Haulover Beach. Poincianica Elementary on my left, to Pico's back, and its reflection on Drew's brown eyes as he spoke of how unexpected the rain came, for it was October. After Drew's observation, Pico asked us which cigar he should get at the corner store, Diamonds. I looked away and placed half a thought about the cigar, and the other on the brown and tan bulldozer that reminded me of Wolverine's old costume. It was parked on rubble, once a drug hub for a project building. A sign some yards away from said bulldozer with a huge picture displayed tranquil homes in a serene, rebeautified Liberty City. Yeah, right, was my inner response to what city commissioners tried selling the locals. Those who called shots forgot, though the homes were new, the same kinds of people moving in were similar to who came before. Nice homes in crime-ridden areas only last but a decade, or until another drug hits the streets in a heroin crack cocaine-like fashion. This is what I call history repeating like a motherfucker. Before that rain and construction equipment tore down the Scotts, in November 2005, my family and I moved to Miami Gardens. At that time, what was most familiar to me lay between Northwest 79th Street and Northwest 62nd Street as the north and south boundaries, with Lejeune Road and Biscayne Boulevard acting as the western and eastern borders. So I made constant visits to where I felt most comfortable after we moved. Some involved danger, but the hood isn't that bad. Hell, a broken clock is right twice a day. And home, no matter where you are, is where the heart resides. On the final day of the move, Drew told me as we carried a couch how places around Liberty City, Overtown, Opelika, and Miami Gardens were scheduled for demolishment. In December of 2005, we were in Atlanta when the first piece of the Scotts got ripped apart. Dilapidated portions of Overtown got boarded up, with former residents relocated to Homestead and municipalities north of Liberty City. We celebrated our first run to the ATL. This delivery made us the quickest 10 grand ever. We got bottles of Dom Perignon and Hennessy XO as we celebrated in the VIP section of the Booty Club Strokers that night. We acted like early 90s urban gangsters. I felt like Nino Brown, tipping our waitress 20s and 50s. We each took $1,000 in ones, then tossed the singles around. Those pretty and impressed girls partied with us all the way to our hotel rooms. We had $1,100 left, but we didn't worry. We got paid 15 grand for delivering to the Connect a swap payment, 20 pounds of weed for 2.5 kilos of cocaine. We came home with our pockets filled, but we didn't expect how the aftermath of gentrification played on our neighborhood. The rain slowed, so we headed to the store. We crossed the short grass field onto the sidewalk, then turned in Diamond's direction. After the first few steps from our rain defense, Drew told us what his cousin said. Something about how the county planned extending the Metro Rail north in 2014 and 15, up Northwest 27th Avenue, with County Line Road proposed as the last stop point. He also told Drew that part of the expansion included the demolition of the Carol Mart, which is still there, but for how long? While in the store, Pico quietly told us of who assisted in our current predicaments. He, in our code of slang, spoken only among us, was approached by someone who got out of prison, who wanted back in the game. "This dude wanna get back right," said Pico. "He wanna get fresh or fly?" asked Drew. "Fly." "Fly like Southwest Airlines or like Delta?" I asked. "Like Delta, fool, like Delta." "Okay, when he gonna act right?" said Drew. "I'll patch up soon." "Aight then." The dude heard of us through others we moved work for. The guy offered us 20 grand each. Part of me said, nah, 'cause the dude just got out. But Pico insisted. He wanted this pad in Doral, right off the Palmetto, for him and his girl. They expected their first child, so it made sense for him. These new condos were built in late 2006. They stood over chopped down reflections of Miami's forested past on Doral Boulevard. Spooky Forest was the name we gave it. We played in those woods, back when Pico's aunt let us sleep over, since we were like family. Along with boyhood memories, what made it special to Pico was that he and his girlfriend, now wife, met near there. As we lived our lives, making moves, that area was marked, ready, then developed upon. No more spooky forest, only parking lot shaded by concrete jungle. After tugging our heartstrings, he made a point of how I needed a new car. I agreed with that, and how Drew and I grew sick of home. We wanted a bachelor pad, complete with a bar and stripper pole installed. Pico called the guy later that day. He set the date and time, which led us to us jailed for a year and a day. The guy was about to do federal time, but made a deal that allowed him paid informant status, an informant who snitched on anyone he knew or heard about. I knew deep down not to do it, but when thoughts of Miami's finest dancers, stripped naked, doing strange things for cash and bling, your other head below is one hell of a negotiator. March 12, 2008 started our time behind bars. The situation could have been worse, but our lawyers swung a plea. Our time was filled with letters from loved ones, letters about how Section 8 homes were offered in very nice areas. I got suggestions that we go back to school, and word that confirmed how the Miami Marlins got a new stadium. I noticed the construction site of that en route to work release. The last 4 years while on the road and behind bars, Miami was made over. Add-ons such as skyscrapers and beachfront high-rises are everywhere. These sites made Miami a tourist attraction and me a roundabout tourist. I don't recognize home sometimes. I must take constant looks around the Magic City so not to miss a thing. Miami grew up. It's blossoming into a place we won't recognize in 20 years. But this time, I will be around to grow with her, and never again without me. Thank you for listening. Please like and share, hit the subscribe button, comment in the section, and please give suggestions on stories that I might be able to put into play in the future. Thank you. Stay blessed.